Hey, kids. This is a tasty burger. Burger.
It's the gradient. And what I mean by the gradient, if we look really close right here, we have white. And then it quickly gradients, boom, into like a green. And that green blends and gradients into the blue. And then all of it has a slight gradient right through, just a little bit of faded gradient through the whole thing. And that makes it look like it's glowing. It's the gradient of white into the color. If it's a blue light, a red light, a green light, a purple light, a pink light, a magenta light, yellow light, whatever, it always is white and then quickly transitions or gradiates into the next color. Always. Okay? So here we go. By the way, none of these is a real light source. None of these were actually glowing things. They're all edited in Photoshop. Okay? Notice, even though you go, oh, well, that's a blue line, Mr. Riggins, with a blue gradient coming off of it, the very core is white. You've got to start that. It could be just super, super thin, but it's going to be white. And then you transition into solid white, a little more solid glowing blue in this case, and then a little more translucent blue. And then we take all the white highlights in the environment and add a little bit of blue into those so it looks like it's giving off that blue light. Okay? You've got to think about the ground, you've got to think about shadows, you've got to think about ambient light. It affects everything. Okay? Even right now, if I were to change my screen color, because I've got green here and green here, if I were to change my screen color, it would affect the little bits of hue on my face. Yep, next. Love this one. Same story. It's a white line. It's a white square. They took that white square, and then they did a very hard red, right? So white line, very, very bright pink right next to that, and then red. And that red gets thinner and thinner, becomes more translucent, so more see-through, and then it disperses into nothing. And then you got to paint it on the ground. You got to paint it on the ground, and then this is obviously more red, less and less and less, or you have a thinner and thinner paintbrush to show that. Now, I don't know how accurate this is right here. I think we'd have a little more red splashing leaves, but it works. It works. Okay, we're going to call this light splash, where the light hits that and kind of disperses through that environment. By the way, this is very possible. Okay, I had a photo one student do this with his toilet. Very gross, but very funny. He had the toilet open and it was like, oh, and there was light coming out of it. And I was like, all right, listen, buddy, that's disgusting and super funny. Okay, right here, all I did, take the test. Now, these ones are not white. There might be a little bit of white, hard to say. I don't think there is. I think this is solid blue, so you could say, ha, Mr. Riggins, there's no white right here. And you might be right. Maybe there's a little bit right there. Okay? But then you have the intense color, then the gradient transition, and then we have kind of that light splash. Okay? So white, glow gradient, light splash. All those of you who wanted to ride an elephant to school, this would be like riding a giant elephant. Love this picture. This is so fun. Now, this one is a little bit different. There is a light assist, okay? A light assist. And that light assist is a flashlight shining on our lovely, cute little Weimariner's face right here, okay? So what they did when they took the photograph, they actually used a flashlight and spilled light onto the dog's face, knowing full well that they're going to take a picture of a goldfish and put it right here. Now, if we took this goldfish and we got rid of this, see all that yellow haze? That's called a gradient. All this yellow right here is called a gradient. If we got rid of that, it would look like we just took a fish sticker and put it on there. The gradient makes it look like it's glowing, and then the light splash here and here makes it look like it's glowing on that space. So we have the object, or the white, the gradient of that color, and then light splash. Now, if you want to go to the next level, putting little light twinkles, little sparkly light twinkles on there is a great idea. There are brushes in Photoshop that do that, and it's great. I'm sure there's brushes for Pixlr. I'm going to show you the complicated one. And I'm going to edit on Pixlr. I've never ever done this on Pixlr before. I've always used Photoshop. So if you're like, well, Mr. Regan's used Photoshop, great. I'll use Pixlr today. And I've never done this on Pixlr. So
challenging yourself.
that's right. There we go. Look at this. Okay. Now, this is what we call light assist. What they did is when they photographed their model, they had a studio, just like the studio light I have right here. Okay. They put a studio light on their model, knowing full well that she'd be standing in an area where there's light right here. Okay. And this is a picture of a mushroom. And this is a picture of the mushroom in its moss. So this is one, the mushroom and the moss is one picture. The girl's another picture. And then they just edited this to look glowy. Now notice there's no yellow here. There's no yellow right up here. It's only under the mushroom and lower. If I had a flashlight, and I do, right here in my pocket. Whoop. Okay. You can see right here, when it hits my hand, you don't get any light here. Okay, get bigger. So as it hits my hand here, the light stops right here because that's the edge of my hand. So it stops it from going up on top. That kind of light splash makes it look real. Okay, if it's all just, whoa, it's all over the place, your brains, I hate to break it to you, are so programmed that you believe that this light is below my hand because you understand light. Your whole life, you've looked at light, and so you go, oh, well, that means that flashlight is under that hand. Now, this one, that's amazing. It's a great photo. Everything's sharp, everything's crisp, everything's very believable. This is a good photo, but the crystal is a little too cartoon looking. Doesn't quite look real. However, the glow is fantastic. Most likely, see how we do have a very believable glow right here? That is so hard to produce in Photoshop. So you know what I would do? Take my flashlight, put some green plastic in front of it, and literally use a light assist. Now, I don't have to do nearly as much work here, and I can just do the little bit of glow around this, and it looks super, super real. Also, your model has to sell it. See how he's looking right there? He's selling the story to us. If the model is like just looking off into space and you don't convince me that that thing's glowing there, so your model's got to play a part, your studio lighting's got to play a part, and your editing skills have to play a part. Now this famous barn, this is a barn in Wyoming, out by the Tetons. You might say, well, how do you know, Mr. Reese? Have you seen it in person? No, I've seen about 6 million photos of this barn. And all they did was take a picture of a jellyfish, picture the barn, put them together, and do ambient light painting using Photoshop. Okay? And make it look like it's glowing. Very fun.
I think it's kind of cool that you can go with Photoshop.
Well, I've been dealing with Photoshop a long time. But yeah, yep, and you guys will start to find that too. Okay, some rubric stuff before we get rolling here. Your light painting, let me just move my head out of the way. Your light painting and layer work matches actual light spill. Okay? See right here, I have a studio light. I just looked at it. It was a huge mistake. I just see a white donut everywhere now. I've got a studio light right there, and it is creating light spill on my face. That's just called light. But you can see how that spill changes as I cast shadows on my face. Or if I move, changes the light spill. And visual effects of realistic light. That's an A. Your lighting, painting, and layer work matches actual light spill and visual effects of realistic light, but lacks color, complicity, and translucentness. So if I have a blue light, it should spill blue light. If I have a white light, it should spill white light. So that's going to be important to create that illusion. Okay, and then C, your light painting and layer work seems thick and drawn and does not match actual light spill and visual effects of realistic light. Okay, your final imagery should include the following: a subject interacting with a light, an artificial light source, we're going to make that in Photoshop, artificial lighting effect. We're going to make that in Photoshop. And artificial shadows. We're going to make that in Photoshop. Okay. Now, if you want an A, or you want to help get yourself an A, your final image creates a story with visual tension and uses symbols to create and express an idea. Oh, your head's going. Okay, here's my camera here. So I'm going to spin this around. Now where this gets tricky, I can't see that. Come over here. Here it is. Okay. So there's me. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Change the exposure a little bit. Okay. So my first picture, I'm going to be holding an orb like this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I would take my mask off because that's where I'm taking the picture. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold my hands. But if I'm going to take a picture of my face, I'm not going to be like, if I had a glowing orb, I need to be surprised. So it's like, oh, right? So I'm going to take a picture like this. And I'm thinking, okay, well, the orb, if it's here, right, there we go. Orb right here. Okay. Now I'm going to take the picture. I'll set the timer on my camera or have my brother or sister, whoever's at home, help me out. Oh, and I'm going to take the picture. Okay. Now the next picture, I want to use a light assist. Now I've already taken this picture. Okay, so I got my coffee cup. In this case, it's just a plastic cup. It's a coffee cup. I wanted to use it in my house, but take the picture from it. Okay, so I'm gonna do this here. Light assist. Now I could turn off the studio lights and make this even better, but I'm just gonna put this right inside, literally inside the. Oh, I looked at it. Can't see. So now I've got this light. So now I don't have to edit any of this light on my face. I can just do this here, okay? I got my cup. Oh, it's so bright. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to look at the cup. Wow, coffee. Okay, but I've got a flashlight inside the cup.
I'm looking at it. You're
There we go. I got it propped up just where I want it. Okay, I'm going to look. Now I can see myself up on the TV there, so I can kind of adjust where the light's going to be. There it is. But I also have to have the cup close enough like I'm smelling it. So I got to get it just right in there. There we go. There we go. I'm going to go. I'm going to take, or like this. If it's coffee, I'm like, yes. I'm going to close my eyes. And take the picture. Okay, so I'm going to put it on timer. Beep, 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 beep. And take the picture. Okay, so that is with a light assist, and that is without a light assist. Well, as long as I'm not close to you for 15 minutes. Now the other one with the coffee cup, here we go. You can see we've got an assisted light or a light assist. So I don't have to edit as much here. Also, I'm going to use yellow, and the light is already yellow. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to open up like a bowl of strawberries, and they're glowing pink light at me. Well, then I would have to use some pink. And what I would do, I would just take some tape, put it over my flashlight, and color it with a little bit of pink marker, and now I've got a pink light assist. Okay. I'm going to grab the magic wand tool and just click the gray. Ready? Delete. That would have been easier the first time, huh? So think about it, guys. Whenever you are doing this work, select, deselect. There are easier ways to do things. So if I just get rid of the gray, see how much easier that was? So think about workflow and what's going to make your life easier. So now I'm just going to go ahead, select the orb I want. I'm not even concerned about getting it perfect right now. I'm just going to do this here. There you go. Control X, gone. Control V, paste. Like those. There we go. Perfect. Now I've got this little orb here. All right. So I don't want it that big. I'm going to shrink it down. There you go. Just like that. Very cool. Now, whenever I'm editing, I like to have duplicates in case I ruin something. So I'm going to come over here, duplicate. Perfect. I'm going to hide that top one. Now I'm wondering if I can make this a little translucent. Now to do that, I'm going to click this button here. Okay, there's not a whole lot behind me that's important. So we're going to go just like that there. We're going to try some different blend modes. Nope. Again, I'm under blend mode here. Ooh. Nope. Not bad. Kind of like that one there. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to duplicate this again. There. And that one behind that. There we go. Perfect. So I'm making it a little bit brighter, making it look like it's glowing a little bit. Now what I need to do, guys, I need to paint a glowing effect. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to click this layer here, background layer. I'm going to go to Layer, New Layer. And this one here, I'm going to name it something different. Click on the dots. Glow Paint. Okay. So I know that's my glow paint layer. So that layer is on top of this picture of me, and it is behind the picture of this orb. So now I need to get the correct colors to make this look like it's glowing. So I'm going to come down here to the eyedropper tool, click that. I'm going to find the brightest portion I can right there. There we go. And now I'm going to grab my paintbrush. And I want a paintbrush that is big, actually just a little bit bigger than this orb here. So I'll come up here. I'm going to pick the 400. Way too big. And I'm also going to pick a hard paintbrush. Too small. Perfect. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint right behind this ball here. There we go. It's a little off. Undo. Zoom in a little bit. Put this right in the middle. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, we're going to go for a little bit brighter. Now, if I didn't want such an intense light, I could actually make that a smaller white circle. We're going to go with an intense light here. So now, I'm going to make another new layer up on top here. And this one is going to be called Layer New. This is going to be called Top Layer Paint. So that way I know it's paint on the top layer. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come up here, grab my brush. I'm going to go with a super diffused brush here. There we go. And I'm just going to paint. Oh, that's way too bright. Undo. Come over here to my opacity. By the way, guys, I know that stuff's too bright. I'm doing it so you can see I made a mistake, and then I make a adjustment. I'm showing you guys that. I'm just going to go ahead, put a little bit of that right on the edge of my sphere, and I'm going to start working on making that glowing effect. Now, remember, this is on top. On top. By the way, guys, all this is going to lead in to the work we're doing tomorrow and Friday. Okay, so a little bit of glow there. Now, I'm going to come back to my glow paint, and I'm going to take just, it was 200 soft. So fairly diffused. No, need to be bigger than that now. Okay. Yeah. So all I'm doing, guys, is this. I'm just painting. That's all I'm doing. But I'm painting in a way it looks like it's glowing. So I'm going to do that. Okay. But now I do want a blue light. So I'm going to come over here, find a nice bright blue. There we go. Grab my paintbrush again. And again, remember I'm on the diffused glow. Now I'm going to start putting in that blue, okay? Let's make this the more diffused. There. How are you guys? Come on in. All right, so now this is a huge circle, much bigger. I'll put it right in the middle of my circle here. Okay, it's glowing. All right. Now I'm going to make an even bigger brush, 500. And this time I'm going to pick a slightly darker blue. Right there, we'll go with that blue there. Back to the paintbrush, put it right in the middle. There we go. So now I've got the glow of my orb here. Okay, now if I hide my orb, see you guys, that's all I've done. I've painted a circle, okay? But the placement of the circle is what makes it look like it's glowing. So I bring back my orbs here. There we go. Just like that. All right, so now I need to think about this right here. That glow is hitting these hands, but I need my hands to be a little bit brighter now, okay? Here we go. Still gonna go down here to my paint layer. Good. I'm gonna grab my bright color again. Okay. Grab my paintbrush. This time I need to make it a much smaller paintbrush. So we're gonna go with 70. Okay, because now it's glowing on my hands here. And I gotta think about, okay, where is that light splash? How would light hit my hand and splash off? Problem is, it shouldn't be on my fingertips. Remember, it's inside my hand, so I shouldn't have any light on my fingertips, okay? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click this background layer, I'm gonna hide my paint layer, okay? I'm gonna grab my magnetic tool. And I'm going to hopefully select my fingers here. Oh, it's just so bad. The problem is I've got my pink fingers on my pink hands. Wow! This is one reason I like Photoshop more. It does a better job of selecting, but work with what we got. And then whoop around there. Oh my gosh, that's bad news. All right, zoom in a little bit here. Let's go with regular lasso. We're gonna just, oh no, what just happened? Excuse me. That one. Okay, so now I'm just trying to get a little bit cleaner on my fingers here. Oh my gosh. So ugly. Boop. Okay. Boop. Boop. Go to minus. I want to get rid of this little bit out here. Hey, you. Woo. There we go. All right, not phenomenal, but not bad. So now I'm going to bring back the glow. I'm going to click on the glow, and I'm going to hit delete, and it's going to delete anything on this layer that my hands are on. Now, just so you guys, there you go. Just so you guys know, this is somewhere between advanced and beginning. We're just painting. But my advanced students should be able to go, oh, wait a minute, that is a detail I should be able to put in there because I've done this before. And while my beginning students are kind of like, okay, I can at least make the orb glow, right? So select, deselect, okay? So I got a little bit of a funky spot right here. See that? So I'm gonna grab my eraser tool. Rid of that. There we go. Let's clean up those fingertips a little bit. So now I need to work on some glow on my face. Back to the paintbrush. Boom. Now I need to go to my top paint layer. Okay, I'm going to make this brush a little bit smaller. There. Oh, that's settled down. It's a lot of, there we go. Let's make that brush even smaller. There we go. Okay. Nope. Make that brush bigger. Let's turn down the opacity. That's what we'll do. There we go. There. Okay, it's kind of got a water effect going there, kind of like I'm looking at a glowing liquid ball. Kind of fun. Get a slightly different color here. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to try something totally different. I'm going to select that part of my face. All I do is grab the magic wand tool, select that part of the face. Got that tool there. Come over here, grab my paintbrush tool. Giant paintbrush. Perfect. Now, there wouldn't be light on my forehead. So I got to grab my eraser tool. Oh my gosh. And that's what I wanted. All right, put this on the glow layer here. Paintbrush. Opacity. There we go. Eraser. Undo that. Small eraser. 200. There. Okay, back to this layer. Magic wand tool. These cheeks here. Paintbrush. A little bit over here. Boom. Okay. Select, deselect. Now it's kind of intense there. So I'm going to come over here with my eraser tool. Okay, get on the correct layer. Oh, dang it. I put that on the wrong layer again. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, gosh. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, and then select, deselect, eraser. Change size. There. Just going to soften it up a little bit. Get rid of that mumbo jumbo. So now we've got the glow in the hand, the glow right there. I also want to have some streaks. So I could come through here and grab some streaks and draw some streaks, but then each of those have to have some light on them as well. Okay. The more intense the color is, the more intense the glow is, the more intense it's going to look. So if I have more white, it's going to look brighter. If I have a bigger area of glowing effect, it's going to be more intense. Okay, now sparkles. Let's see here. No, undo. Let's just see. If I were to take this tool here, paintbrush, top layer, paintbrush. So I could take this here, come back over here, rotate it, over here, rotate it. I can make kind of that effect that it's glowing out. Now, here's where Photoshop and Pixlr start to separate from themselves. I have in Photoshop brushes that are illuminescent, are sparkle, and they actually look like exploding light. And so I would do this in Photoshop because I have way more resources, but maybe I just want some sparkly stuff going on. Watch this. Get this here. There we go. Too big. Top layer. Okay. Now I'm going to make some bigger sparkly things, because those would be closer to the camera. Okay, let's make some smaller sparkly things. Notice I'm clicking, I'm not dragging. Another big one. Okay, so there's my ambiance. I might come through here, take some more colors and put some more ambiance in there. But in a nutshell, guys, now, here we go. Hide all these. There's the original picture. I put an orb in, put a glowing background in. I put a glowing foreground in. Now it looks like there's a glowing orb in my hand. So that's really our task, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to make the illusion of glowing. So put some reflections in the eyes, put a little bit of glow in the hair, so the hair had a little bit more punch on it. Let's see here. I might thin that out just a little bit. Change the transparency a little bit on there. I just want a little bit of glow on the hair. Now, mind you guys, there we go. So that's my final product for this, okay? I extended out the glow. I put a little bit of glow coming through my fingers here. Got a little bit of ambient sparkles, highlights in the eyes, a little bit of blue. Hair is reflective, so it would reflect color well, so I added all that content in there. So bring all these back here, get rid of all the stuff so you can see the original. There's the original, right? And what we added was some glow, right? There's the glow. We added some glowing hair right there. Scroll up a little bit here. We added some glowing dots like that. But with the context of the orb and the context of the final picture, it becomes a glowing image. Okay, guys?